Hey, today I thought we'd talk a little bit about these key objectives, tease into them a little bit more, and why they're so important to talk about and to tease out. Key objectives are important to think about so that you can actually utilize them to inform you about this transition planning process moving forward, what's going to be involved, but more importantly, what's important to you about this transition as you start to move from one state to another. Why is this really important? Well, when we take a look at it, once you have these things down on paper, they'll help inform and guide the rest of the process moving forward, this process of transitioning your business from one owner to another, and they'll ultimately make the process more beneficial for you, less stressful, and ultimately just more satisfying. You're coming into a situation where you're looking at selling or transitioning your business, which is very likely going to be the largest financial transaction of your life. Why not take some time to figure out what's really important to you as you go through this? Like I say, taking the time will help make it less stressful on a go-forward basis. So what are these key objectives? There's four main ones we'll look at today. The first one is, when do I want to have this all take place? Thinking about this, although the timing may change as you go through it, at least it puts a point in the ground, a stick in the ground, a line in the sand that says, hey, you know what, in 5 years I want to be done this transition. By putting that line in the sand, by setting that date, it allows you to start doing the rest of the planning that's required to make this all very meaningful and beneficial to you. The next question is, to who would I like to have this transaction happen with? And this, when people say, well, what's the best way to do it? Well, it all comes down to, again, what are your objectives? What are you trying to get out of this? Do you want legacy? Do you want the business to carry on? Maybe it's going to be a family transition. Maybe you need a big payday. Maybe there's no family there to take over the business. Maybe that's not important to you. So is it a family transition? Is it going to be a management takeover? Is it going to be a third-party buyout? Or maybe it's just going to be winding down the business. We need to take a look at the to who to figure out what we need to do to move this forward. The next question is, how much do I need from the business as I move on? And this one's awfully often a question that isn't really looked at too deep, but it's a very important question. By thinking about how much I need, we need to go a little bit deeper, and this is where you'll get your financial planner involved. Well, what are you going to be doing in this next stage of your life? What do you need this money for? What's your standard of living? How much money do you need to carry on? How much money do you have outside the business? How much do you have saved outside the business? If there's not very much there, and you're counting on your business to supply all these funds, we need to take a look at realistically what the business will bring. If there's not enough money there, there might be what's called a value gap, and then there'll be some work that has to happen to increase the value of the business to get it to a point where it can fund this next stage. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, which I think is probably the most important one, what are you going to do if you're no longer working in the business? And this one and all these other points we're going to tease into much deeper as this video series goes on. But if you don't take the time to answer who am I outside the business, basically the what am I going to do outside the business question, you might be left not so motivated to do the work you need to do to properly prepare the business. So we need to answer that question. So those 4 questions come together to really form your key objectives. When do I want to leave? To whom do I want to transition the business to? How much money do I need? And what am I going to do in this next stage of my life? You can see how important these questions are, and these are really what form the basis of a good transition planning engagement. If you want more information on these topics, please feel free to visit my website, btplus.ca. Send me an email at dsinclair@btplus.ca, or even give me a call. I'm Dave Sinclair. I love helping educate people on these topics, and I love helping out with people that are looking at, what are their key objectives, what do they need to do, and how they need to move this process forward. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.